Good morning, fourth grade. So I hope you had a great Memorial Day. I hope that you remembered way back in November when we talked about the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And yesterday was Memorial Day, so we celebrated or remembered those that have died protecting our country. So, and Veterans Day is to celebrate those who have fought for our country, but they can still be alive. So today we are going to talk about comparing and ordering fractions. Speaking of fractions, I hope you are working on your fraction project. I started working on mine. I'm going to do one too. I have a fun idea in my head of what I'd like to do. So over the weekend, I started cutting out all of my circles. And today I'm going to cut them into different size fractions and then get started on my project. If you looked at the sheet that I sent to your parents on Thursday, you will see that you can add extra embellishments. You could add things like googly eyes and glitter. Also, you could also draw, like draw little feet or, draw stripes or something on it. So don't feel like you can't draw anything on it to make us be able to understand what you're doing. But hopefully you're working on that, and I hope that you saw on your homework for Friday, I gave you a chance to work on that instead of doing homework. So I hope you take advantage of it, but hopefully you have a lot of it done before then. All right, so comparing and ordering fractions. So comparing, we are trying to figure out greater than, less than, or equals, and then be able to put fractions in order. So we have a problem right here that says on page 524 that says Christina and James weave rugs. Christina's rug is 3/8 completed and James' rug is 3/4 completed. Okay, who has the greater part finished? Okay, so we're looking at 3/8 and 3/4, and we're trying to figure out who has more of it completed. Okay, so let's draw how big the rugs will be when they're done. Okay, so these are the two rugs, how big they will be when they're done. All right, and the first rug, who is Christina, we're going to divide that rug into 8 parts. And then we're going to divide James' rug into 4 parts, okay? It's the same size rug, but it's divided into different number of parts. So it says that Christina has completed 3/8 of her rug. Okay, so she's completed 3/8, and James has completed 3/4. So who has completed a larger amount of their rug? Yes, James, because 3 out of 4 is greater than 3/8, and 3/8 is less than 3/4. Okay, so because they both have the same numerator, you could have figured this out in your head without drawing it, because remember, the larger the denominator, the smaller the pieces. Okay, the smaller, because one whole is divided up into 8 pieces. in 3/8 and 3 is taken out of it. But 3/4, that same 1 whole is only divided into 4 pieces. So the pieces are going to be larger. So we know that 3/8 is less than 3/4 without even drawing it out, because 8 pieces of 1 whole are going to be smaller than 4 pieces of 1 whole. All right. Okay. Another way for us to figure this out is to make them equivalent. Okay. So remember, when we make fractions equivalent, first we need to, if we're going to make them have the same denominator, okay, we need to make sure that we do the same thing to the top as we do to the bottom. So I'm going to make both of these into 8s. So this is already 8. So what do I need to do to the 4 to make it into an 8? Multiply it times 2. So that means I'm also going to multiply the top times 2 if it's going to be equivalent. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8. So which one is bigger, 3/8 or 6/8? 6/8, which is the same as 3/4. Okay, so we know that that is bigger, larger. All right, so you are going to do for your work tonight 525A odd. And what you're going to do in 525A odd is compare fractions, and you can use drawings, or you can use your noggin, or you can use equivalent fractions. Okay, and you're going to do greater than, less than, or equals. And then for numbers 18 through 25, you're going to order the fractions. What does that mean? You're going to put them from smallest to largest. Okay, and the best way to do that is to either draw pictures. Okay, so draw 3, say it's 3 in order, draw 3 of the same size, but then divide it into the number of the denominator, and then color in that many, and see which one takes up the least amount of space, and that would be the lowest, middle, and then the most amount of space. Okay, or you could turn them into equivalent fractions so that they all have the same denominator. Okay, and so tomorrow we're going to turn all the way over to page 530, mixed numbers and improper fractions. Okay, what is a mixed number and improper fractions? Well, we've talked about this before, but a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction together. So like, let's say I have 1 1/2, 1 1/2, 1 whole, 1/2 of a whole. Okay, so a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. Or I could have 2 1/2, okay, a whole number and a fraction. Okay, so mixed numbers and improper fractions. So improper, when we say the word improper, it means not written the right way or not the right type of fraction. Okay, a proper fraction always has the denominator bigger than the numerator. Okay, larger than the numerator. Okay, an improper fraction, an improper fraction, the numerator is larger than the denominator, so you know that it's wrong. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can make a mixed number into an improper fraction, and take an improper fraction and make it into a mixed number. Okay, so let's say I have 2 1/4. Okay, I have 2 1/4. Okay, that is a mixed number. But let's say I want to find out how many, if I have 2 1/4, I want to know how many quarters is in 2 1/4. Okay, so how many quarters is in 2 1/4? So let's say I had 3 candy bars, okay? And I ate some of it. But they're divided into 4 pieces. Each one is divided into 4 pieces. Okay, each one is divided into 4 pieces. Okay, so that's candy bar, candy bar, candy bar. Okay, so I ate 3/4. So now I only have 2 1/4 left. See, 2 1/4. Okay, so even though I have 2 whole, they're still divided into 4 pieces. So I want to find out how many fourths is 2 1/4. Well, I can count them right here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9/4. But I'm going to show you how to make that. Okay, sometimes you're going to have to turn a mixed number into an improper fraction. So we need to know how to do it. All right, so anytime you turn a mixed number into a improper fraction, you're going to multiply the denominator times the whole number and then add the numerator. It's like the remainder, okay? So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 9/4. Okay, you're going to keep the denominator the same. Okay, so is that what we figured out? That 2 1/4 is the same as 9/4. So there are 9/4 in 2 1/4. Okay, all right. So now that we have 9/4, we need to make it back into a mixed number. Okay, so the way that you make it back into a mixed number is by dividing. Remember, this is a division sign. So what is 9 divided by 4? 2. With how many left over? 1. Okay, so you have 2 with 1/4 remaining. Remaining. Okay? All right, so you are going to do, my screensaver came on. All right. Okay, for your homework tomorrow, you're going to do practice 532A odd. 532A odd. For your homework. All right, so if you want to get started on today's homework, then we can talk about if you understand what you're doing, and I will see you in a few minutes.